Next we have Chrystyna Dail performing Before Roe vs. Wade.
The man was married, widely influential in social, business, and political circles, and in a position to wield substantial power over my life. He was known as a womanizer to everyone, it seems, but me. I had learned to handle mild flirtation, but knew nothing of self-defense. I was single and hardworking, intoxicated with freedom and the limitless possibilities ahead. I had a full and exciting life and a promising career in my chosen profession. For these and a long list of other reasons, not least of which was my proper church-going family, there was no way I could have a baby. I told the man who had impregnated me. He seemed hardly bothered. Our encounter would today easily be classified as workplace rape. In those days leading up to the women's liberation movement, any such accusation or protest would have been laughingly dismissed. So I drank paregoric, hurled myself against walls, and did for a while all the other terrible things rumored to end pregnancy. Many of the most dangerous I had fortunately not heard of. The drugs and potions that could cause permanent sterility or worse. But everybody knew about the coat hanger. I have no idea how I managed not to kill myself with the coat hanger. Finally, thoroughly terrified, I decided I could not do it myself. I turned first to my trusted physician. He suggested immediately that I find a way to marry. If not the father, then someone else. Barring that possibility, he said, he could direct me to a discreet, out-of-town place where I could go at minimal cost, have the baby, and put it up for adoption. Losing more than half a year of my life, and never mind the shame and grief that would befall my family anyway, the prospect held no attraction that my 23-year-old mind could discern. I told an older, worldly wise woman at work that I had a friend who needed an abortion. She immediately wrote down a number on a slip of paper, handed it to me, and said, "Ask for Barney. It'll cost $100. My monthly income was $190. The next morning, I was driven by Barney, blindfolded, to a small, dreary, gray, ranch-style vinyl siding house, and the only words he spoke were, "Did you bring the money?" Barney could have been anyone's bad caricature of a greasy, haired, and down-at-the-heels salesman. He said to lie on my back at the table. "This won't hurt," he said. I felt something being inserted into my vagina. It was over in a matter of minutes. I wondered later if he had bothered to wash his hands before or after. On Monday morning, I was still bleeding heavily And more than a little frightened, I went back to my physician and I told his receptionist that I had been ice skating over the weekend and I had had a really bad fall. Sitting in the waiting room, I felt like I had a scarlet A on my forehead. The doctor asked, "Who did this to you?" "Nobody. I just had a bad fall." After a few moments of uncomfortable probing, verbally, emotionally, and physically, he said, "You are one of the lucky ones." And then he handed me a prescription and told me to come back in a month. And it turned out to be true. I was one of the lucky ones. Except that this memory does not go away. And I still mourn for the ones who weren't lucky.